I'm cooking American Chop Suey today. American Chop Suey, that's right, as featured in the brand new Amazon bestseller Humble Pie by Pat LaMarche, a book about food poverty, also containing some of my recipes too. Oh yes, how exciting. Hi everybody, hope everyone's well out there. Welcome back to the channel. It's Archie here. This is my kitchen. I thought it was time we introduced you to the kitchen. This is where I make all the dishes on the channel. So this is my little kitchen, quite shiny, in Worcestershire. So let's crack on with today's dish. It's taken from a book that I spoke about recently on the channel. The book is all about food poverty. And inside the book, there's a special recipe I'm cooking today. There's the guy we saw on my channel the other day talking about the book, telling you all about it. I don't know who he is, sitting there with his gin and tonic. The book's called Humble Pie. It's by Pat LaMarche, illustrated by the amazing Jeremy Ruby, and it's available from all good booksellers. All proceeds from the book go to charity, by the way. As I said, as you can see this little book episode on the channel. There's the ingredients, there's my kitchen. Let's tell you briefly about how we're going to go about the dish today. The dish itself is involving pasta. Very simple to make, only a handful of ingredients. We're going to need some pasta, a can of any tomato soup, a little bit of olive oil, some seasonings, some Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, some blended tomatoes mixed with some tomato paste, some ground beef, minced beef, some onions, some chopped bell peppers, some garlic, and a ridiculous amount of cheese, because my daughter won't eat pasta unless it's completely plastered. Pasta plastered in cheese. And the book, as I said, Humble Pie, written by Pat LaMarche, the recipe, close recipe I should say, is in the book. Lots of other recipes are in there as well. Lots of simple, humble recipes and some amazing tales of how people have had to feed themselves in a poor part of American society. As I said before, there's so much to look forward to if you buy this book. Lots and lots of recipes. This dish today is called American Chop Suey. I know that sounds bizarre, but in certain parts of America, American Chop Suey is this dish you're going to see today. There's the recipe. There's two actually recipes in the dish. I'm making a couple of slight modifications on the original recipes, purely because I have a teenage daughter who won't eat pasta without cheese. So there we are, nice and easy. Everything's ready. There's the book. Please go out and buy it. Make my day, if you wouldn't mind. And now I think I've talked enough about the book and the ingredients. I think it might be time to get the pan on. So should we get cracking? So I've got about 2 or 3 tablespoons of very nice quality extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have that, you can use any oil. In the pan goes the chopped onions and chopped bell peppers. Chopped bell peppers are my little modification. I had it in the fridge to get rid of, so I threw them in. Oh, there's the garlic. Some escaped, by the way. Chopped up garlic in there as well. And don't forget, all the ingredients are going to be contained in the description box below. Just click where it says more and you'll see a list of the ingredients. I'm going to sweat these out for about 8 minutes. I've just thrown in some wonderful Italian herbs. You can use mixed herbs if you don't have Italian herbs. And we're just going to cook these off, as I said before, for about 8 minutes until they're slightly softened. Let's add our ground minced beef. I've got about 18 ounces, 500 grams, 2 ounces, just over a pound. I'm going to just chop that up with my wooden spoon in the pan. Now, if you're a bit impatient like me, get a fork and just turn the heat right down to minimum and start crushing the clumps of ground beef, minced beef, with the fork. And it just means the beef goes further. It just means people get a little bit more of an even portion of minced beef, ground beef, when you serve up the pasta dish. Obviously, if you're using a non-stick pan like me, be really careful. But that's a little tip, and it's a great way of making your minced beef go further. I'm just going to leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes to cook out. Now, if you want to use a lid, of course, use a lid and forget about it on medium heat. Leave it there for about 10 or 15 minutes. I just stood there like a fool and constantly stirred it until the beef was completely cooked. And after a while, we will see all that liquid will completely evaporate into nothing, and the beef that remains will start to turn slightly brown. And that's exactly what we want. We want the beef itself to have little crusty bits. Can you just see there by the wooden spoon? Little crusty brown bits. That represents beautiful flavour. Once you've got to that stage, you can then add our blended tomatoes with a little bit of tomato paste. Don't forget, all the measurements will be in the description below when you click more. So I need to bring this to a nice gentle boil, and once it's started to sizzle and all mixed in nicely, we're going to throw in our can of any tomato soup. And we are trying to recreate the dish today based on the dish in Humble Pie. Just going to clean the tin out to get those last bits of soup. And then pretty much that there is our simple, basic, no-nonsense meat and tomato sauce to mix with our pasta. I want to simmer it now. I want to get some flavour. I'm going to put my lid on and I'm going to leave it alone for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm going to add some salt, some sugar and some pepper. And I'm going to give it a stir. And to be honest with you, I'm quite happy with that now. That there is a simple but damn tasty meat and tomato sauce. It's also really important to point out that this dish, yes, it features in the book, but it's also a very economic dish. If you take out the cheese, this dish won't cost you a lot of money at all. This quantity will probably feed up to 8 bowls of pasta. So 8 people will be fed by these measurements I'm giving you today. So we've got the sauce there. We've got our cooked pasta. What I'm going to do is take half the pasta and put it in my big dish. Once I've thrown it in there, I'm going to take half my sauce. Now, if you've got the equipment, the big bowls, big buckets to do it all in one, that's absolutely fine. I'm doing it in 2 batches and then I'm going to give it a bit of a mix. So there's the sauce mixed with half the sauce mixed with the first half of the pasta. So once I've given that just a bit of a brief mix round, nothing too heavy duty, give that a mix round. Then I'm going to throw half my cheese, and I've got red Leicester, regular cheddar and mozzarella, a lovely mixture of cheeses, over the pasta. Now the second half of my elbow macaroni pasta goes on top, along with the remaining quantity of fabulous simple meat sauce, made with what, 5 ingredients? Can of tomato soup, few tomatoes, ground beef, few onions, bit of garlic. Oh my God. And as I said, the red peppers, they were optional. I had a red pepper hanging around the fridge, so I thought, let's throw it in the pasta dish. So once that rest of that pasta sauce is on top of the pasta, let's get every last bit in, please, chef. Thank you. Just going to give it a squelchy mix round with my spatula just to make sure everything's nicely mixed in. Then it's time to plaster the top with the rest of my cheese. And let's face it, cheese, pasta, meat sauce, I mean, God, it's a match made in heaven, isn't it? Right, there's my new air fryer. That's going to come into use. I'm going to give you all the measurements of the dishes as well in the description below. Here is the pasta after 10 minutes in the air fryer. Hopefully he will take it out of the dish and serve it into that wonderful, look at that, hot steamy bowl of goodness, enough to nourish anybody who doesn't eat very often. And I know I've said this serves 8, but I'm a greedy bugger, so I would say people with my appetite, I would own 6 people. You know, it's just such a lovely bowl of goodness. It's taken from the book Humble Pie, and it's known as American Chop Suey, the easiest pasta dish you'll ever cook. Don't forget, the recipe's in that book. It's written by Pat LaMarche, illustrated by Jeremy Ruby. It's an amazing pasta dish. It's only got a few ingredients. It's fed millions of Americans in times of need. Only a few ingredients, so easy to cook. And please, everyone, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing. Tell me how you get on with the book. Let me know if you've bought it. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know if you've cooked any recipes from the book. Don't forget to share, tell your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to smash that like button. It's huge for us. That's my American Chop Suey. I'm starving. There's the book. I'm going to eat. I'm going to read. I'll see you soon.